Welcome back. It's July 3, 2020, and we're going to record our yoga session here in the training center of my workplace. So computers left and right. But it seems fitting to do yoga in a place that otherwise is destroying your posture and your zest and zeal for life. Anyway, let's get going. Toes together, heels apart, stand nice and tall, and just come to focusing on your breath. Try to breathe in fully into your belly, your ribs, and your upper chest. Bring your hands to your hips. Separate your feet. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bend your knees or soften them so you can come forward. Hands on your shins and stretch your back out long. Inhale, come up. Separate your feet wider than your mat. Hands on hips again. Look up. Lengthen, fold over, hands on your shins. And now keep the front of your body open as your left fingertips come down to the floor. You turn to the right and your right arm comes up into the air. Release this side, hands on shins, look down. Right fingertips to the floor, turn to the left. Release, look down, hands on shins again. Stretch long between crown of head and tailbone. And bend your knees so you can bring your hands to the floor. Release your head and just hang here, slowly straightening one leg and then the other one. Come back up, hands on shins, hands to your hips. Inhale, come to standing. Bring your feet back together. And rest here for a moment. Again, hands on hips. Spread your feet so that the hip width apart. Reach up and back. On an exhale, come back to standing facing the front. As you lean back, watch out for lightheadedness. Be very careful with this pose, but really open it up. You find breathing might be a little bit difficult, so maybe hold it for not quite as long as I do. Inhale back. Exhale, come back to the front. Excellent. Do triangle pose, left foot comes forward, right foot comes back. Open the arms up, tilt down. Keep adjusting as things open or as you find the right spot to work on. And exhale, look down. Inhale, soften your left knee, come up to standing. Step to the front. Pause for a moment. Step back with the left to triangle pose on this side. Release, bend the front knee. Come up with an inhale, come to standing at the front of the mat. Walk it out. We always do lots of triangles, I know that, but they're really fundamental poses. You got to learn how to straighten yourself, how to twist yourself, and it's multiple stretches all at the same time. So they're very, very effective. Take your time, work your way into them, but do focus on the standing poses, with the fundamentals to all the other yoga poses. So I'll take advantage of the fact that I've got a nice flat even surface, and I'm going to do tree pose. Go back to the beginning one. Remember, you can do whatever version you want, with your feet in line, toe on the ground, toe on the shin, or like me, I'm going to lift my heel up, plant it high on the left thigh, and stand tall. Pull the right knee back, tuck the tailbone under. And if I lift my hands up by the view that I see, they'll be out of your view. Not that you need to see my hands, but I'll just leave them where they are. So as I can see, I'm not as terribly steady as I would like to be. Getting there though. Maybe you can always stick your arms out to the side. Waving tree, tree in the wind. The real test then for your balance. And then just release. Back to standing. Transfer your focus to your right foot, lift all the toes, spread them wide, plant them. Put your left foot where the right one was. So we want to do the same pose on either side. Standing tall, straighten your standing leg. Try not to grip the ground with your toes. Pull the left knee back. Stand up tall. And if you like, you can then do some variants. Arms out to the side, arms up and down, or do what I did. Waving tree in the wind. Not as hard as it looks, because you can use your arms to correct for any overbalance that you do. And then release. Back to standing. Let's do another forward fold. Forward folds are very good. They're very relaxing, relieving. But we're going to do the next one seated. So we're going to get there. For those that would like to, just sit down, or you can follow me through a flow. And inhale, I spin my arms up. Exhale, fold. Bend my knees if I need to, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, step back to high plank. Exhale, sink down either all the way to the floor, or you can join me in low plank. Hang out there for a moment. Inhale, push forward to upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips up, push to downward facing dog. And knees to the floor, cross ankles, roll over them, come to seated. I'm going to take the right foot, put it against the left thigh, turn myself to lean right over the left leg. Inhale, lengthen out through the crown of the head, lean forward, try to reach beyond the foot. Keep your body long, you're trying to reach up for the wall somewhere. When you're as far as your core can pull you, drop your hands. Whatever you touch is your anchor. Hold on to that now. Slightly engage your back muscles, your armpit muscles to keep that tension in the back of the leg. Relax your head so you can look down at your ankle or your shin. And just hold on to this. Left leg right now wants to be as straight as it can. If the back of the knee is hurting, then bend it, put something underneath. But we're aiming to start doing these sorts of stretches with straight legs. As always, the base of the belly has to be in contact with the end of the thigh. If it's not, then you are rounding your back a lot and you're trying to push yourself into a pose that you're not quite ready yet for. Release. Sit up tall. Shift your legs so that they open as wide as they can. Take the left arm, reach forward, and then grab a hold of what you can. It may just be underneath the shin, it may be all the way down to the big toe. Turn to the side. You'll find that you can get a little bit farther because now you've added the length of your shoulder from your neck to your shoulder, basically to the length of your arm, and maybe you can reach down and grab your toe. Turning to the side, your right arm comes overhead. How far it goes depends on the side of the body. To reach the foot, you may need to roll down a little bit, or you may just hold on to your wrist and then turn back to the side. Ideal though is you reach overhead and just keep reaching for the wall, trying to pull yourself down over time. Inhale to release. Stretch out the right leg. We're going to repeat this whole process on this side. Take the left foot, bring it against the right thigh. Turn yourself so that your breastbone is right in line with your right leg. Reach for the wall beyond your foot. Squeeze your core, squeeze your thigh. And then when you're as far as your muscles are going to take you here, drop your hands, grab your anchor, solidify your shoulders. Extend through the crown of the head, relax the face of the head, look down at your shin or your foot or your knee, and hold yourself here. Try to let your calf go if you're holding on to your foot. Get a stretch in the calf muscle as well. Lengthen out through the crown of the head, nice and long. And release slowly, slide your way back up. Always remember, never pop up, never move fast. Release under control. Somebody's trying to ping me. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but I hear my computer go ping, ping. Right hand, reach down. Grab your toe if you can. Grab the back of your shin or your calf muscle if you can't get quite that far. And turn to the side, left arm overhead. Release, come back up and relax. Lean back, roll your hips side to side. And before we do a twist, we're going to do an exercise for the back. So we did core exercise earlier. Hopefully all of you joined us. I said we were going to do another one today, and we will. We'll do the same as what we did yesterday. But first we're going to do an exercise for the back. Come to lying on your stomach Arms can be overhead, they can be by your side, whatever works for you. Overhead is a little bit more stressful for your back, so you choose. Your face looks down at the floor, and you're now trying to lift with your thumbs leading and your heels leading, your arms and legs as straight as they can be. Lift them off the ground as high as they can go. Don't strain your neck, just lift legs and hands. Release. Obviously it's hard to breathe there, but you do your best. Do not hold your breath. Roll your hips side to side to release. And let's repeat. Arms out, legs out, lift. And release. Make a pillow with your hands, put your chin on, roll side to side with your hips. Push your way to table, and let's do the core and the second breathing exercise. So you're coming to a high plank. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Grip the ground with thumb and pinky, and then either just hold your breath here, like I described yesterday. Deep inhale, and keep the inhale going. Don't squeeze the neck to hold the breath. And then if possible, do a short or a brief push-up as far down as you can, then back up. Good, that's once. And now do it 2 or 3 times. And release. Let's do a twist. Come to seated again. Bring the right ankle to the left hip, and then the left foot sits inside or outside the right knee. You know the routine. Depends on what your sit bones are doing. Grab the left knee with the right elbow, left hand in behind, sit tall, and then turn. Keep pulling that left knee across. You want to get a straight line from the right knee, right elbow, right shoulder, left shoulder, hand on the floor. Release. Give yourself a counter twist. And let's set up for the other side. Left ankle to the outside of right hip. Right foot places in the same way that you did the left. And repeat. Check to see if you have a tendency to stress the thigh that's lying on the ground and lift that knee off the floor. Relax it. Let that knee come down to the ground. And release. Give yourself a slight counter twist. Excellent. Stretch out your legs, lean back, and we're just going to do some windshield wipers. It's just gentle hip stretches. Try to bring your knee all the way down, Trying hard to keep the other knee vertical. You should feel that deep inside the hip, the knee that's going down. So right in there. Go back and forth. Take your time, squeeze a little bit to get that knee down. So windshield wipers relax and release the lower back. They reset the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint, which sometimes gets strained a little bit when we do twists or back bends. That's why we do this as a release or as a counter pose. But on their own, they're also active, moving stretches for the hip. One more time on the left side after the right side is done. Good. Now we're going to deepen that. Either come to a 4 pose, like this, and squeeze your way up, or come to this stacked log pose. And if you can, lean forward. You can put a little bit of pressure on your ankle and your knee when you're leaning forward. Like you do when you sit. And then just relax. You've got to tell your hip muscles it's okay. This is not a bad thing for them. They like this, they want this. But you have to consciously relax them because they will tense up when you're doing these stretches. Imagine as you breathe, the air is going down into your hips and you're releasing the tension. It's obviously only figurative, it's not actually happening. Because the air is not going down there, but you can consciously relax by imagining the air going down into your hips. Release this side and then do either the 4 on the opposite side or come to stacked log. And if you're in stacked log, then you can lean forward, put your elbows on your joints and help stretch things out and give your back a break. I wonder if breathing in to relax muscles and imagine that you're directing the air there doesn't work partly because you can't imagine breathing into your stomach without relaxing your stomach. You can't hold your stomach tight and breathe into it. So when you breathe in and imagine the air going to other muscles, your mind just says, okay, what you're trying to tell me is to relax where that air is supposed to go. But the air can actually go there or not is not really relevant. It's sort of a trick that you're playing on your mind and your muscles to tell them to relax. And release. Sit up. Lean back. This time keep your legs long and just roll through your ankles. Bring your ankles to the corners of your mat and roll. Try to keep your legs straight, the pinky toes down to the ground. And then come the other way. Try to roll big toes in. Use the muscles of your legs. And back out. Out is easier than in, it seems. One more time, out and in. And then just leave them there and lie down for corpse pose. Slowly bring some feeling back to your fingers and toes. Roll through your wrists and your ankles. Squeeze your knees into your body. Roll around on your back. And extend your right arm. Roll over onto your right side and rest there. Feeling just your arm strength now, slowly push your way up to seated. And as always, cross your ankles when it's unusual for you. Does it still feel unusual? Are you asking yourself, is this the right way? Is this the wrong way? Maybe both feel normal to you now. That's sort of the goal. Let the unusual feel normal. That's why we do all these poses. We put our body into shapes and positions that it normally, on a daily basis, doesn't go into. So that you start thinking about what you're doing, thinking about where you are, thinking about what you're feeling. That's really the whole point of yoga as opposed to other kinds of stretching, is that you are focusing on your body, you're thinking about what you're doing, and you're present right there. You're not thinking about other things. All right, been an interesting session. I'm sitting and thinking, I must be doing something wrong. I'm here in a work space and I'm not doing work. I'm barefoot. This is my lunch hour, so I guess I'm allowed in a sense, and nobody's going to be here for who knows how many months. Anyway, take care. See you tomorrow. Back from the tent. Namaste.